Just a pilot in his cockpit seated. Black leather on his ass, keep a hustler heated.
Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Just wanted to show you something kind of cool. As some of you know, I have a little company, Get Your Gear Incorporated. I sell WRX stuff. I sell stuff for just a variety of different cars. Sometimes some products I get custom made, sometimes I get them from other places. So it's just a little business. It's not huge, it doesn't make a ton of money. Just something I kind of did as a side job. One of the things that I was running into is I pay a lot of taxes in my normal job, so the additional tax revenue from a business was kind of a problem. So I always try to find creative ways to spend money without actually taking the money as income. So like things I can buy for the business that will benefit me as well. So I'm always looking to do that. So I had an opportunity where some family members were getting a new car. They were selling their old car, and I had told them in the past that, hey, if you ever want to sell this car, let me know, I'll probably buy it. Well, they were selling the car, so I said I would buy it. And instead of me buying it with my own cash, I decided to buy it with company funds and register it to the company. So this is going to be a completely company car. So it's actually not owned by me, it's owned by my company. Meaning all the fuel, all the mods, anything I do for it, I can actually write off as a company expense, as long as it doesn't get too ridiculous and it still is something that I could justify to the IRS. I'm not sure how many YouTubers or how YouTubers do their taxes, but it's always something I've been kind of curious about, because a lot of people buy car stuff specifically for their channels. If they have to just pay normal taxes on that, it's kind of unfair because they get their revenue from YouTube, then they have to spend the money on that. So it's kind of should be a business expense. I don't know how they do it, but in this case, this is going to be my daily driver that I will drive sometimes and drive for business expenses. And what it also enables is for me to do more mods to the Charger without as much concern that I won't have another car to drive. I'll have a second car essentially. So here it is. It's nothing special, pretty dirty, but this is a 2006 Honda Accord V6. And for those of you who have been a part of the channel for a long time know I always rave about the V6, not in a positive way in particular, but I always say how a V6 Accord is as quick or quicker than a WRX, which in many ways it is. So this is a V6 Accord and should be quicker than a WRX. Keep in mind, this is a 2006. You'd have to compare it to a 2006 WRX, and it is an automatic. These were the days when automatics sucked back in 2006. It wasn't a quick shifting 8-speed automatic. This was a 5-speed normal torque converter automatic, shift very slow, very limited gears. So it's not fast, but I would be curious to see how it would compare to a automatic WRX, which I'm not sure if they made automatics back in 2006. But I at least can compare maybe the stats for a manual version of these and see how that compared to a WRX. I'm not sure if it's faster enough, but it was just kind of the running joke that I would always say, is WRX is slower than or as fast as a Accord V6 or a Camry V6. This thing has about 244 horsepower, and I'm not sure on the torque. It's probably not a lot. It's got a 3-liter V6 engine. It's actually kind of quick. I remember you know, driving these cars back in the day, back in the 2006, it felt really fast, but you know, for today's standards, my other car is a Charger with almost 500 horsepower, so it's not thrillingly fast, but it doesn't feel like it's like it won't even move or anything. It feels like it's quick, it accelerates quickly. So let me just show it to you real quick. This car was fully loaded with the exception of the navigation, which they offered at the time. Leather interior, XM radio, automatic of course, heated seats, but you know, a lot of the comforts that we've come accustomed to in newer cars, like automatic wipers, automatic headlights, it doesn't have any of that stuff. Similar to my WRX, didn't have any of that stuff either. Everything's pretty much manual. I mean, it has power windows and all that, but kind of funny, even the sunroof, I've never seen a sunroof like this, and till recently I never really had cars with sunroofs. My WRX didn't even have a sunroof. But to open the sunroof, and you guys can maybe tell me if this is common or not, you have to hold down the button. In my Charger, you press it and it opens it. To vent it, you press it and it vents it. This car, you actually have to hold down the vent button, you have to hold down the open button, you have to hold down the close button until it's all the way closed. And that's kind of cool because like sometimes maybe you just want it open a little bit, and in my car you don't even have the option to do that. But in this you can. So I thought that was kind of weird. I thought there was something wrong with it at first, but I think that's just the way it is. Maybe everybody can give me some suggestions on what I can do to it. So as you can see here, It has 117,000 miles, which isn't bad. But I think for these V6 engines, I think the weak part on them was the transmission. I know these V6 transmissions tend to go. So that's probably something I'll have to address, especially if I'm going to drive it spiritedly, because the family members I bought this from definitely didn't do any spirited driving. They drove it normal and calm. And I'm not going to do that, so I probably need to make sure I address it. Maybe some of you guys know a little bit more about the Accords, but from what I understand, just a transmission cooler, hopefully a cooler with a fan on it, will help keep the temps down, and that really addresses the longevity of the transmission. From even what I'm understanding, in best case scenarios, these transmissions will go by 180,000, which, I mean, I got a lot. It's got 117,000, but you know, sometimes they can even fail as low as 117,000. So that's something that I'm gonna have to address, maybe with a cooler or something else. Otherwise, I'm really not sure what else to get for this. I was looking online. I think there's InGen makes an intake for it, which I'd consider getting. An exhaust, maybe. I don't want it to be too loud. I mean, this is just an Accord. I don't want to be like too ricer, but maybe I should go ricer in it. Maybe I should do something fun with it, do something stupid. As long as it stays drivable and reliable, I don't really, you know, I'm really open to almost anything. Pretty nice car, easy to drive, it's quiet. Actually a lot easier to drive than the Charger, just because it feels so much smaller and the visibility is better. And I think they sacrifice looks to have that good visibility in a lot of these cars. Let me pop the hood and show you down here. One of the first things I'm gonna need to do is these headlights. And I know you can buff them out to get all this oxidation off, but I figured I would just replace them with something else, with some new ones. And I know they have like a different grill you can put in, which is something I might do as well. Oh, it has pistons on the hood. So this is the first time I ever actually even opened this. So they did live by the beach, so it's got some rust on it. Nothing major. And I know they took care of the car as far as maintenance and stuff. So I think the car is going to be in good shape, because the people I got it from bought it new, and they are not people that like abuse cars or ignore maintenance. So this is what it is, just a Honda V6. Yeah, it looks good other than that. So thinking maybe an intake, maybe a cold air intake, just to make it a little bit louder, a little bit more power. And of course address the headlights, and maybe some different rims. These rims are the factory ones, and I don't know what happened to them. Like, they weren't scraped or anything. I think they just you know, whatever finish on them is just flaking off, so, and just deteriorating. So maybe some different rims. I don't really know what kind of rims people put on these that look decent, but that would definitely be a good idea. I drove this around a couple days, and it's a good driving car. It's fine. I mean, obviously I got to clean it up. It's not in absolutely flawless condition. I mean, there's a couple of you know, scrapes here and there. You know, it's not perfect, but you know, it's a 2006 Accord, and it's not owned by me, so I can use company funds to do maintenance and mods that it needs to it. So anyway, you guys tell me what you think. I know there's a lot of Honda lovers out there. Nobody ever mods the V6 Accords from whatever I can see, which is something I never understood. You know, Civics of that day, I mean, this is 2006, so what did the Civics put out? Like 200 horsepower and like no torque? So why does nobody like modify the Accords? They're obviously heavier and stuff, but they have a lot more power and a lot bigger engine. So you would think if you built that engine and turboed it and everything, you'd end up with a lot more potential than you would in a Civic. But I mean, I'm sure there's some reason people manage to get plenty of power out of the 4 cylinders. So maybe there's just no need or something. But something I never understood, and I probably never will. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. So tell me what you think, and peace.
Just a pilot in his cockpit seated. Black leather on his ass, keep a hustler heated. Weed is engaged in the pavement. Rubber escorts like I'm seeking arrangement. Push the gas, escalate the gauges, escalate hits on the cam girls' pages, blazes, and hit them with a script full of sexy phrases.